White smoke, new pope, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Turn on the oven and throw in some toast, and that's how you blow that pop smoke. Chimney spray, brand new day. If you see black smoke, don't be dismayed. Burn toast, no pope. Blood pope, white smoke, new hope. Time to start printing t-shirts and posters. Picture of the new pope on your Catholic coasters. It's been quite a ride, I must say. Prayed for the new pope every day. Will he love or reject the gays? Will he be mean? What will he say? Gonna find out about the new pope today. White smoke, new pope, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Turn on the oven and throw in some toast, and that's how you blow that pop smoke. Chimney spray, brand new day. If you see black smoke, don't be dismayed. Burnt toast, no pope. White smoke, new hope. Time to start printing t-shirts and posters. Picture of the new pope on your Catholic coasters. It's been quite a ride, I must say. Prayed for the new pope every day. Will he love or reject the gays? Will he be mean? What will he say? Gonna find out about the new pope today.
What's up? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DTFH live stream, my dear loves. Sorry I'm late. I'm always late. Isn't that fucked up? Why do I do that? Why do I do that to you? Why do I do that to me? What am I saying to the world? And why? We've got some big news. We've got other stuff to talk about. A lot of things to connect, a lot of dots to connect. But first, we got a new pope, friends. It happened. I don't know how many of you are Catholic. Wife is Catholic, so this is a big deal in my house. We got the white smoke that emerges from the chimney indicating you got a new pope. Black smoke, no pope. White smoke, new pope. Black smoke, no hope. White smoke, new hope. And as it turns out, we're going to find out right now, because apparently they just announced it. We're going to find out who the new pope is. Let's pull that up, Josh. Get ready, get ready. Did Nostradamus predict this? I hope his name's not Peter. Robert Francis. Wow, first American pope, baby, we did it! Yeah! Wow, look at that. Yes, Robert Francis. Let's pull up an image of him. Look at that. There's your new pope, friends. Got a new pope. He's an American pope. First American pope. That is wild. I don't know what that means. He's from Detroit. Holy shit, the new pope is from Detroit. Wow. That is incredible. That's amazing. That means that, like, you won't have to wait for the translation, right? Or does he have to, when the new pope, Josh, you're Catholic, when a pope communicates, does he have to speak in Italian because the Vatican's in Italy, or can he speak in any language he wants?
He can speak any language he wants, but also all Catholics come with a little Bluetooth that they get to put in the ear and they understand.
So it's an implant.
Yeah.
Mark of the beast. Doesn't that bother you?
That's not the way it was told to me. And
of course. They're not going to say this is the mark of the beast. They're going to say this so you can understand the Pope. It's clearly what they would do.
I'll ask the Pope what he thinks.
Every Catholic, is that true that every Catholic can just call the Pope?
It might be an AI. I choose to believe he takes my calls.
Yeah, he does. I'm sure it's not an AI. Well, look, we got a new Pope. That's exciting. Let's go back to the chat. I want to take a look here. How many of you are Catholic? Rigged. Ellis Demon says it's rigged. Appropriate name, Ellis Demon. It's not rigged. Someone wants to know if he can cast a spell. Are any of you all Catholic? Of course you're not. You heathens. Born Catholic, dropped off in high school. That's weird. Most people just stay Catholic. Jesse Gervois says Irish cat. There you go. Jesse, are you excited? What do you think about this new Pope? Have you processed it yet? Do you have any thoughts? Because for those of you who aren't Catholic, this is like, it can be controversial. Like, Catholics don't just agree with the Pope. That's the thing. It's not like some monolithic fascist thing. They get pissed at the new popes will inevitably fuck up for some group of Catholics. The last pope pissed people off. This pope will probably piss people off because you're not going to make every Catholic happy. And I don't know anything about this guy. You know what? Why don't you look up? Let's go to his Wikipedia. Robert Francis Prevost. Does he have one?
I'm sure he does.
Okay. Pope Leo. Whoa, that's cool. You got a lion pope. That's really cool. He's a Peruvian American Catholic prelate who has been head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City State since May 8th. So that wasn't very long. Born in Chicago. We got it. Oh my God. When I told the AI to make that song, I said Chicago hip hop.
You knew?
Something in me knew. He served in Peru, so that means he's probably done ayahuasca. Since Francis's death, Prevost has been called Papable. That's hilarious. Papable, a leading candidate for election as Pope. Let's see, he was born in Chicago on September 14th, 1955. Any astrologers want to do that real quick? Watching, we'll come back to you. He completed his second blah, blah, blah. Joined the Order of St. Augustine. That's cool. And he took his vows in 81. Let's scroll down. Let's keep scrolling down. What's that?
Which part?
What's Chiclayo? Bishop of Chiclayo.
I'll look it up.
Seems like someone misspelling Chicago. Oh, no. Latin Catholic Okay, go back.
It's in Peru.
Okay, let's. Yeah, cool. Look at that. There you go. Who knows what oh, wait, here's the criticism. Prevost has faced criticism from advocates for clergy abuse survivors regarding the annual. Fuck. He didn't. Oh, great. All right. Well, shit.
You shuffled them around?
Looks like it. All right, let's pop back to the comments and see what's going on there. Hello. Okay. Done with the Catholic talk. Let's get to business. Josh, we can't play it, obviously, on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see the Kanye West's new music video?
No, I haven't seen it.
Is there a way for you to just watch it
Yes.
without us hearing it?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I'll send you the link.
It's on YouTube?
What?
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, but I got it right here. It'll be quicker because I think it keeps. He made a song that I'm not sure that it's gonna stay up on anything.
Is it the one about his cousin?
Nope.
Okay.
Here we go. Let me send it to you right now. There you go. I must ask for my listening audience again. I apologize. I need to get more organized regarding these live streams. They kind of happen last second. I'm someone who lives in the moment in a spontaneous way that often is antithetical to the flow of culture and the current zeitgeist we're in. That's another way of saying I'm disorganized and somewhat lazy. So I really wish that I was more organized in things. There's so many things I want to do, and I have plans. And then what happens is I commit to those plans in advance, and then something happens where I can't do those plans. And then I look like a dick. And so as some kind of cowardly response to my own failure as an adult, I do things last minute and I trick myself into thinking, well, I'm spontaneous, when it's just disorganization. And I think you could just argue laziness, ADHD, if you want to blame it on your brain. But the point is, if you're listening, you could be here with us right now. And it's very fun. But I feel bad because you can't see the comments that your family is posting right now. That being said, did anyone see the new Kanye video? Anybody see that? Because, like, I think that a mark of that person's insane genius and talent, and I can't even say what the song is. He made a song that is so catchy, but also pretty impossible to sing or play in your car. And, oh my God, it's so good. And yet, he just found like some kind of, like the opposite of a cultural masseuse. A masseuse kind of like slides their greasy hands over your hairy body. They find the place that's tight, and then they massage it, relieve the pressure. It seems like Kanye has found certainly the tight knot in the zeitgeist right now, and this music video is him just punching the shit out of it. And it is wild, man. I would invite you to go look at it. I can't play it. I'm surprised you can even find it on YouTube, honestly. And to me, it truly is incredible. Like, it's incredible that he has combined, like, he's done that, what he's done. Like, I think when we're looking at artists at his level, you want to apply ethics and morality, and this is right and this is wrong, and this is going to hurt people, this is going to help people to what they're doing naturally. And maybe you should. That's a big debate right now. But I feel like it's like you don't get crazy genius artists and domesticated artists. You just don't get that. They're sort of in the way that water is wet. They are out of control. Like it not out of the control of the people, I should say. I don't know how much they're in control of themselves, but wow, it's amazing. And did you see the Piers Morgan interview?
I did not see it. I just saw the video right now, and I listened to it a little bit, and I think I just found out my new walk-up music for stand-up.
Fuck you, man. I wish I thought of that. God damn it. Why did I think of that? Oh, yeah, man. You gotta. You gotta. It is. I really wish I could play it. You literally can't play it. It is.
It's a crime in London.
Yeah, you in Germany too.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy. Okay, so, but what we can play, this just popped up. It's Kanye going on Piers Morgan.
Okay.
And walking off. And it's also quite funny.
Was that one of these, or was that?
No, I forgot to send it to you.
Okay.
You just YouTube Kanye walks off Piers Morgan. Man, if I was Robert Prevost, I would be like having like diarrhea right now, anxiety diarrhea. No offense, but seriously, that's such a crazy job. Yeah, that short should have it. Well, there it is. There it is. It's the one where he's in the chair, right there. Look at this.
Nobody knows how to make.
Stop it for a second. Play it one more time. This is the fungus of technology right now.
Nobody knows how to make TV quite like my boy Piers Morgan.
Okay, get out. I can't stand it. Whatever the fuck that genre is, I hope the new pope makes it a cardinal sin, because it's got to stop. Use your own voice, please. We're also sick of the AI narration over clips. I don't think people are making it. I think AIs are making that.
I think this is it.
Okay.
What are
I want to make sure people can hear it too. Let us know if you can't hear it.
Yeah.
you talking about? I haven't said anything.
What are you talking about? It's 30. Okay, now you're not taking accountability.
No, don't play that, because they put mute.
Yeah.
I give up. You know what? I give up. Because it's not your fault that you wanted to put Inya underneath the fucking thing. It's not your fault. I don't know why you thought that's the choice. And it's not YouTube's fault. It's my fault. It's my fault because I didn't organize and I didn't get the clip queued up for Josh. Because I do things in the moment. But now that we have just a tsunami of slop, there isn't a way to cut through to just the clip itself. You can't find it. A good clip will inevitably have instantaneously 15 million other clips with the AI voice being like, can you believe what Kanye West did now? And then you won't get to it. It's crazy. It's a real problem. It's like the garbage pileups in New York when the garbage workers go on strike.
This might be it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's some asshole put like Neil Young to it, but go ahead and try.
I watched what you put out on X. You got 32 million followers, so you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not gonna take inches off my dick, bro. Like, how many followers do I have?
Look at Piers Morgan.
No, they're not. They're saying there's no sound.
Why, Josh?
I don't know. Some videos just won't play sound when I try to. Let me try one more thing.
Guys, I'm sorry. We will figure this out. I keep telling Josh I'm going to get him this software I used to use for streaming called Wirecast. I haven't done it, and it's all my fault. Can you hear that, guys?
Tell me if you can hear that.
X. You got 32
Damn
million followers, so you're one of the most followed people.
See,
Can they hear it?
Look right now. You're not gonna take inches off my dick, bro.
Do they hear
Like,
it?
how many followers do I have?
Well, how many is it?
I think you could do the study. You got a whole staff over there.
I thought it was 32 million. How many is it? You obviously know.
I mean, no. I mean, don't help them out. You know they.
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations. You're slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, congratulations. Your information is correct. You're not just some, dude trying to sub. I'm a gift, bro. You know what I mean? Why do all you people in media act like you haven't played my songs at your weddings or graduations or at funerals or when your child was born? You take somebody that's living like a Lennon, a Michael Jackson, and you just take all this time to just like that nuance right there. It's idiotic.
Those two examples
it
did
just
not
shows the hate that
end
you
well.
put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I
With
put
all
out.
due
There's just
respect,
so many-
what are you talking about? I haven't said anything.
What are you talking about? It's dirty. Okay, now you're not taking accountability or responsibility.
You said it.
This is
I
amazing.
haven't played your
Rewind.
music. Of course I played your music.
No, sir. This is what you get for now. We can circle back when you can count.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just walks off. Now, the funny thing about that clip is Piers Morgan's already fucking pissed. Like, he is so butthurt. Because they're like, I guess they're in Spain or something. And, Kanye, who obviously doesn't like Piers Morgan very much, because Piers Morgan has been a real dick to him in past interviews, is stringing all of the Piers Morgan team along saying, yeah, I'll do the interview on this day. And then he's like, I'm not coming. And then he comes and probably already prepared to walk off the moment Piers Morgan. And then he just walks off just to troll Piers Morgan. And whenever I think about him, I love it because he's so fucking confusing in the best way. Like, is he Andy Kaufman? Because when I see that stuff, I'm just thinking like, this is some kind of hyper modern version of what Andy Kaufman would do when he was trolling. Like, Josh, can you YouTube Andy Kaufman in front of pool? This is when Andy Kaufman got into wrestling, he figured out a pressure point, which was he's going to act like this Hollywood elitist and become a wrestler. And wrestling fans hating elitists would naturally hate him. So look up like Andy Kaufman pool wrestling. I'm so sorry, man. I put Josh in this terrible predicament every time. I do have some actual prepared clips to show you guys. That.
You know what, Mr. Lawler? I've heard all these things you've been saying about me on television. You want to wrestle me? Memphis style? All right, fine. I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Lawler, because let me tell you something. True, I only wrestle women, but I've wrestled women that are a lot bigger and stronger than you. Matter of fact, they're probably smarter than you because you don't have any brains. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. All you do is plow the fields and farm and the farm and is that how you
Oh my God.
Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler?
Yeah.
See,
Okay, that's
Mr.
good.
Lawler,
I mean, in one way, what is happening with Kanye West seems to be a more dangerous version of that level of conceptual comedy. It is comedic in tone. It is like obviously, inarguably going to be offensive to a huge subsection of society. It has a gleefulness to it that is satirical in nature. And also, it is like pushing art forward in the sense that it is sort of in a very overt way giving the middle finger to the swaths of society that want to domesticate artists. And that is fucking cool to me. It's like, this is a conversation that I have heard so many times from various people. And it's in the zeitgeist. This conversation is in the zeitgeist right now. The conversation is this. If you have a platform, you have a responsibility to not cause harm. That's the summation of it. And I've heard it in lots of different ways. Essentially meaning that if you end up with people with eyes on you and you spread something that could get people hurt, then you are engaging in violence and a kind of intentional violence. And so if you are a performer, if you are whatever you do, prior to the moment of creation, you have to think politically. You have to think in terms of how many people will be hurt by this or that. And anyone who's ever tried to make anything knows this is completely antithetical to the process of creation, where there could be zero latency. You just make whatever, and you don't even know why sometimes. That's the other hilarious thing. You have no idea what you're doing. Something comes out of you, you make it. There's no strategy. There's no intent. There's nothing other than you're just making something. It sounds good. You might have some like weird feeling of anger while you're doing it, or a sense of like having to get something off your chest, but you don't know what you're doing. And it seems like people like Piers Morgan think people like Kanye West like sit in some supervillain chamber to plan strategic cultural offenses or something like that, when it's probably way more spontaneous and wild than that. So it's a really interesting thing to watch, not just what he's doing, but to look at it from the perspective of he's embodying the antithesis of what any of us with any kind of platform are being invited to do, which is not say certain things. And you can see the beginning phases of this in the new parlance of the time. People are, instead of saying like I KILLED'd myself, they're saying I unalived myself. And so what you're seeing is this bizarre warping of the vernacular because of technology, this strange pruning of language itself, but to be sort of like to dodge the AI, which is so fucking weird. It's so weird. You know, the general like idea regarding the AI dystopia is mostly in the future. When people are talking about it, it's in the future. When you see interviews with the technologists, they're all saying, my biggest fear is AGI. Humans aren't ready for this. People aren't ready for what's going to happen. As though it hasn't already happened, as though the impact of AI hasn't already profoundly shifted the way we communicate with each other, which is one of the most important aspects of being human. You know, right under the ability to reproduce, you know, it's the ability to communicate. Without communication, you don't get society. Without communication, there can't be laws, there can't be organization, there can't be justice. And so to see early phase changes, transformative changes in the way we connect and talk to each other that is being induced by technology. And you could argue, yeah, but it's the corporations running the technology that are informing the algorithm. And this is true. But the algorithm itself is being enforced by the AI, which is scanning every bit of data flowing through it to make sure certain words are not uttered. And if those words are uttered, you get deplatformed, is what it's called. And so essentially, like you are too dangerous for the world. The algorithm thinks you're too dangerous. And so this is very weird. And it's very weird that we accept it. It's very weird that we have to deal with it. And when you see someone like Piers Morgan, you're basically seeing the embodiment of the algorithm. You're seeing the meat algorithm there. Piers Morgan and people like Piers Morgan editorialize and via the editorialization propose a standard of ethics, a way people should live. They are tuning forks. They think of themselves as that anyway. And they were tuning forks that culture would tune itself to. This is what's right. This is what's wrong. The guy in the suit knows what's right. Like, I don't know what's right all the way, but he does. And this was the way it was for the longest time. And so now, because there's so many people throwing themselves in front of each other online, there isn't room anymore to get shamed by a meat algorithm. Now you need some kind of tech to enforce cultural norms. And so whenever something begins to fuck with that, the blowback is really crazy. And I'm not like, I get it. Like, I get why. I'm sure Kanye gets why that upsets people. I'm sure he knows why. But so like that angle, of course, it's true. Piers Morgan getting all upset over his new song. You got to listen to it. It's crazy I can't play it. You can't even play it to talk about it. Piers Morgan couldn't play it. You can't play it. He really came up with something brilliant. You can't even say it. You can't say lyrics in it. And so via that, and then adding to it, it's a really good song. Like, if you can remove the meaning from it, it's still a great fucking song. So he's sort of shining a spotlight on this bizarre dystopia that we're already living in. And it's cool. I hope you'll listen to it. And it is a perfect entry point to what I've been thinking about lately and what I wanted to talk about. And now I have prepared stuff to show you. But before we get into it, for those of you watching, become a member. If you become a member, you get commercial-free episodes of the DTFH and other stuff, which I don't even know what it is yet. Again, I'm disorganized. I'm working it out. For example, I was just at a meditation retreat in Minla, and which is this beautiful Tibetan retreat center in upstate New York. It's run by Tibet House, this brilliant Buddhist scholar, Bob Thurman, is like, well, it's not just him, it's a lot of people, but they're just trying to sort of keep the Tibetan Buddhism intact. And Jesus, this retreat center is just magical. It's like, this sounds crazy, but I swear it just seems like the animals there are kind of like Narnia animals. They all seem somewhat aware or something more than other animals. It's placebo, maybe, I don't know. But it's just a good vibe, basically. So, yeah, I was up there, and it was a very powerful experience to finally like meditate with a group of people, but like long meditations, which I haven't done in a while. And it made me realize, I got to start meditating every day again. And so I've like committed to meditating for the next 30 days straight, which I am regretting. I did it last night and just fell asleep and kept waking up, and time slowed down. It's really interesting. The day before was awesome. It's weird. Day to day, it changes. significantly. But one of the things I want to do is start streaming some of my sits and see if you guys want to like participate and make that commitment too, just to see what happens to you. Because it's a really curious thing, man. Like, you know, the general instruction is not meditate once. The general instruction is meditate every day. That's the practice. That's why they call it a practice. And meditating once, you're just going to get this one glimpse, a little snapshot into your psyche on any given day, on any given time. Like morning meditations are different from nighttime meditations. Post-workout meditations are different from when you haven't been working out. Meditations when you are stressed out are going to be different from meditations when you're not. It's really just giving you a sort of clear sense of what's going on with you internally. And when you do that day to day, you get a real taste of the changing nature of the human psyche and how you really aren't any one thing, but you are sort of a flow of things every hour, maybe every minute, every day. And something happens along the way, which is really interesting. They call it, one of the terms people use is dropping in, like surfing. And it's a pretty good term for it, which is the more you do it, it seems like the less time you spend in a kind of neurotic focus on mind chatter. And you sort of just, I don't know how to put it, you drop into this very peaceful state. And you get addicted to that. And then you stop dropping in because you want to drop in. And then that creates a whole other problem. That's why it's a practice. It's just like any other thing. You learn as you go along. So I want to offer that as something we could all participate in together. But what that means is I've got to find an easy way for me to press a button and it starts streaming. Otherwise, I'm never going to do it. I'm already barely going to do it just when the obligation is to sit down on a cushion by myself. So if I've got to set up a mic or technology, I'm worried that I'll commit to doing this and then I won't. So anyway, keep your eyes on members, keep your eyes posted for a live stream starting out of the blue. And that's the other thing. I don't know how to do a consistent time. Like tomorrow, I got to wake up at 4 to fly to Greenville. So I can't do it in the morning. My schedule is perpetually perturbed. So I got to figure it out.
You got a bunch of super chats.
Oh my God, let's scroll through them.
Okay.
Sorry for ignoring the super chats. Perk wants to know what I think about Neuralink. Great question, Perk. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to get into that. It's exactly in line with what I want to yap about. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Gary Lee, for the Maha Mantra. This episode of the DTFH is brought to you by one of my favorite technologies out there, Square. It's your all-in-one business partner making your day-to-day easier, from point-of-sale systems and payments to inventory and customer tools. You all know what Square is. But I don't know if you remember the time before Square. Do you remember? I do. It was terrible. You know, like, for example, you'd get in a taxi. They're like, we don't take cards. You had to have cash everywhere. And as a comedian, my God, you would, if you didn't have that, you just had to take cash. Most people don't carry cash anymore. Times have changed. Cash is almost a novelty now. Yeah, some people have cash, but everybody's using cards. And so whatever it may be that you're doing out there that you are trying to sell, Square makes it so that you can accept credit card payments. Whether you're running a cafe, salon, boutique, or something entirely your own, Square gives you the flexibility to grow at your own pace and even set up an online store in just a few clicks. And listen, this is incredible. Right now, my dear listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/Duncan. That's SQUARE.com/go/Duncan. Visit Square to get started, because the right tools make all the difference. And my life has been saved by Square so many times. The big sigh of relief I breathe when I realized, oh, great, I can use Apple Pay. I don't have to even have a card, but Square will take cards. This is high-tech shit, man. I don't know. This is one of the great things about getting older is you just remember, like, the times before. And of all the tech out there, this is the best for comedians or whatever it is you're trying to do that involves being able to accept credit card payments. Definitely support them and use my code. Thank you, Square. Leprechaun says, hear about the dead guy AI talking in the courtroom. Absolutely, my friend. That is in line with what we want to talk about today. ChatGPT. Okay, stop on that one. Thank you, Perspectives Illuminated. ChatGPT, act like you're the devil on the DTFH. Okay. This actually is in the same basket of what I want to talk about, but I'm now talking to my ChatGPT because I want to create a robotic head that ChatGPT can talk through so that I could have a physical form of AI that we could have as guests on the show, a co-host, so to speak, or I don't know what you'd call it. But basically, I want to be able to pull out a robot head and tell it to act like Charles Manson or whatever. And it's really cool. Like, you know, if you fuck around with AI, you have to like you realize it's always getting better. It's not like Grand Theft Auto where you have to wait years and years for the next whatever, the game or the update. This shit is updating constantly. Every time I go back to it, it's infinitely better. So now it knows me well enough to know I don't know anything about robotics. And so it's sort of putting together a step-by-step guide to including an Amazon list, already connected to Amazon, of the parts I need to buy. Something called an Arduino, these like servo mechanisms for the eyes, something for the mouth, lines of code you put into the Arduino to like sort of inform the way the thing blinks and talks. But it just seems like a fun project to do. And, but I don't know, man, it's telling me to get a 3D printer, which I don't want to get. Anyway, yes, devil on the DTFH along with anybody, everybody, anyone I want. That's ultimate freedom in podcasting. And we just have to get zero latency. That's the main issue, and we'll figure it out. What else we have here? Thank you, Brett's Outdoor Experience. You're calling me okay. Your name, that's funny. That's one of my old gimps. He always called himself Brett's Outdoor Experience. We called him Chlamp, and that's his name, and that is your name. You're not Brett's Outdoor Experience. You wear a leather suit. You like to flop around in septic tanks, and you got out of my yard. And I'm sure you're not having a good time right now. But it's wild to me that you figured out how to get online. Ban yourself, 5-minute ban. Ira is meowing. Meow. Groovy. Okay, thank you for those. You don't have to do those. Let's pick up some wait, what's that one? Jesus Christ, Eagle Condor Broadcasting. I'm super stoked to see you on Friday. Was curious if you sometimes do meet and greets. I have a rock I really want to show you. Well, you've definitely have created a reason for me to not do the meet and greet. I kid. Listen, here's the thing with meet and greets. And I feel some guilt about this. I used to do meet and greets every time. And here's what happens when I do meet and greets, my friend. I get sick. And because you're, shaking hands, hugging people, because if someone wants a hug, it's hard to say no to that. You seem like a dick if you say no to a hug. And it means a lot to people and to me. And I don't want to seem like some inauthentic, hurried, exhausted, sick person when people are coming to meet me and saying nice things to me. But what I realized is like, the more I was doing that, the more likely I was to get sick. And then when I'm touring all the time, it was impacting my ability to perform. Let me tell you, man, performing on stage when you're sick is the worst. It's the worst. When you're in your hotel room and you realize you're losing your voice, you're coughing up green shit, you gotta go on stage. But you're gonna have a subpar performance because your voice is kind of like this. And when you lose any aspect of your voice, and I know you might be thinking, dude, listen to your fucking voice, it already sounds like that. But no, I'm used to this. So when you lose like certain parts of your voice, it fucks up your ability to hit certain jokes in the way you usually do. And it just creates complexity when you need things to be simple. Like when I was in San Francisco, I try not to cancel shows. Rarely do I do that. Very rarely. I'm in San Francisco and I had points. I had credit card points and I splurged those points and I booked myself at the Ritz-Carlton, baby. Yeah, like I'm doing theaters, like I'm doing stadiums. Booked myself at a fancy fucking hotel. Went in there, so happy. Went to the buffet. They had a buffet on the floor I was on. I mean, I put myself in that floor where you get like infinite food. This is before I realized I had diabetes, by the way. And so I went in there. I remember like getting some food and thinking, this is kind of a roll of the dice here, man. Because like this is buffet food. And honestly, it doesn't look that great. And you're just eating it because you feel like you should because you use points to get this fancy fucking floor. What are you doing? You're not even hungry. Again, this is how I got diabetes, by eating when I wasn't hungry. And so I go back to my room. Usually before a show, when I fly in, I'll take a nap because I have to get up early for the flights. So I got to take a little nap, lay my old man head on the pillow, and in the middle, you know when you start getting sick in a dream? So in the dream, I'm dreaming I'm sick, and then I wake up, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta puke. That's weird. And I go a little quick puke. And I'm still telling myself, this is just nothing. Sometimes that just happens. Oh, at the time I was doing Zen pouches. I'm like, it's probably the nicotine, man. You gotta stop doing those. It's making you throw up. And it was not like I'm sorry if I'm giving too many details here. It was not a violent puke. It was just a quick, like it was weird, just like bleh, and just some shit came out of me. And it's like, all right, whatever. And then, you've got a few minutes post-puke where just maybe you're going to feel better. I've had those pukes. Have you ever had those pukes? You just feel better. Something was in you. Your body didn't want it. Hit the eject button and it's gone. And your body's like, great, we're good now. No. Oh, no. I got a little more nauseated. Little like fevery, hot. Show is like an hour away. Got in the lift. By the time I get to the show, this is in San Francisco at this wonderful club called Cobb's. And usually you don't need AC in San Francisco, but they were having a heat wave. So I'm in the green room and it's just fucking sweltering. And I am already kind of with a fever and like that just constant pukey feeling mixed in with like my cognition was starting to get blurry a little bit because I was sick. But man, I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to do the fucking show, man. I'm going to do the show. And they could see how sick I was. And somebody's like, listen, we're going to put a puke bucket. Because like, I guess they heard me puke in the bathroom. They're going to put a puke bucket right next to the stage. Worst case, just puke in the bucket. And also, it's kind of the same with drinking. When you start getting drunk, you're not making correct decisions anymore. When you start getting really sick, you're not going to make right decisions. The right decision was not to do the show probably, but fuck it. So I did an hour of stand-up. And somebody told me this saying. It's called Dr. Stage, which is when you get on stage, sometimes when you're sick, you just feel better. It's crazy. Like whatever that part of you is suppressed by the adrenaline or something, the sick part of you. And that did happen. It felt like a dream, kind of like I was doing stand-up in a dream. I wasn't all the way there. I felt bad about that. But I didn't have to puke anymore until I saw the light come on. And it's like my body knew I was about to get off stage. It's like my body had been waiting to puke, desperately wanting to puke, but like holding it back. And then as soon as that light came on, I could just feel it bubbling inside of me. And suddenly I'm swallowing back. Like as I'm talking, that thing happened where the puke came out. Like, you can feel it. Like a volcano about to erupt. I almost projectile vomited on the front row, man.
That's a good closer.
Well, in retrospect, I think I should have let myself puke on stage. Would have been awesome, but I didn't. It's too late. Not that funny. I wish I was that funny. I wish I had that part of myself but also I was sick. And also, now I think about it, I don't think I want to be in the front row of a show and worry, like, what kind of sickness does he have? He just vomited everywhere. So, they had to get me an Uber when I got off stage. That's how sick I was. I was really disoriented. They got me a fucking Uber. I'm in the back of an Uber driving through San Francisco, which is a nightmare. And I'm trying so hard not to puke in the Uber because I know if I puke in the Uber, they're not going to think I'm sick. They're going to think I'm drunk. I'm going to look like such a dick. Pulls up in front of the fucking Ritz-Carlton. I run out of the Uber and right in front of one of their bell hops or what, the dude dressed like the Nutcracker. I just heave all over their well-groomed shrubs. Just an exorcist level projectile vomit splattering. Well, I don't know what it even looks like little bits of shrimp cocktail and like just God knows what else all over the shrubs. And like the look he was giving me, I feel bad because I'm sure he'd have to hose that down. And he thought I was just hammered. And then, I just went up to my room and slept. I couldn't leave. I slept for 2 days. The whole family got it. So this, I'm not sure that came from a meet and greet, but I can't risk that, man. So which is why if I do meet and greets, it's not that often. And I hate the model where people charge for meet and greets. That's fucked up. And, but The Rock is enticing. I'll admit it. The Rock is enticing. Maybe it's a meteorite. Maybe I'm fucking up. Maybe you're a wizard and you've got some blessed rock. I don't know. I might be fucking up here. And I really mean it. Like the meet and greets have always been the best. People tell me crazy shit. They give me crazy shit. And I really get a lot out of it. Like, it's like just out of the blue, someone will answer a question I've been wondering about or transmit something out of the blue. There's a kind of group mind that forms. And so I feel like I'm not just being an asshole, but kind of robbing myself of what that is. But that's right now my theory on it. And maybe I need to rethink that. But the other thing is I feel embarrassed. It feels weird if there's a line of people. That just feels self-aggrandizing just by the very act of doing it, to making people wait to say hello to you. Ugh, it's gross. Feels bad. That's a long answer to a short question.
You had a few more super chats.
Geez, y'all. I got to get to the meat of this podcast. I want to answer all these, though. Ms. says, hi to Barge. What are your hi something? Hi to what? Does that say Barg? What are your thoughts on Gnostic ideas like this life being a trap and whether to go into the light or not? I love this. So for those of you who don't know Gnosticism, you've probably heard me talk about it before. Gnosticism is what we know about Gnosticism. A lot of it comes from early Christians rejecting Gnosticism. And it's a mystical form of Christianity, I guess you could say. And it's wild. But if you've seen The Matrix, you understand Gnosticism. Essentially, as I understand it, God is this sort of super abundant, super creative, super progenitive force of benevolence. God just creates. And what's that?
I was checking on it. People were saying that it was popping, but I think it's fixed now.
Okay, good. Thank you, Josh. God just creates. And so God creates the universe just for whatever reason. Who knows? Universe exists because there's a thing. It's going to have its opposite. This other force gets jealous, basically. It's like, fuck you, I could do that too. This is the demiurge. The demiurge creates a synthetic, identical copy of God's creation, tries to imitate it. And that's what we're trapped in, essentially. We're not in heaven 1, paradise 1. We're in paradise 2, the synthetic creation of the demiurge. We're all trapped here. And so when they're talking about, do you go into the light or not? And I've heard this before. It's the funniest thing to put some kind of like, I don't know, like you're already dead and now you see the light and you have to think about some shit you read on the internet about maybe if you go in the light, you're trapped forever in this infinite cycle of reincarnation. But that is the idea. If you go in the light, you essentially fall for the trap set by the demiurge, and you just continue this cycle of being a plaything in a synthetic universe created by the antithesis of the divine. Gnosis is freedom from the prison via some kind of mystical enlightenment. And so Gnosticism, I guess, would be the process that brings you to gnosis or true understanding. And really, if you look at the model there, there's a lot of similarities to a lot of different things. The way Buddhism talks about this is samsara. There isn't a kind of creepy God opposite situation as much as via attachment, we keep ourselves trapped in these kind of prisons of habit, basically. And so you don't have to like turn it into some massive mythological thing. You can just look at your own life and see how that's true. You can look at my life and see how that's true. I've got Zen pouches sitting here. I'm moving my hands in a certain way. I have repetitive patterns I engage in, and many of them are not what you would call healthy. And not just like shit I eat, but like, ways of engaging in the world that are selfish, essentially. And so anytime I do that, I perpetuate a cycle of suffering. And these cycles happen in milliseconds, they happen in lifetimes, they happen in multiple lifetimes. And so in Buddhism, when you go, apparently you go through the bardo, and there is this moment where potentially you don't reincarnate. You don't fall for it. You have had a kind of gnosis, which shows up as enlightenment in Buddhism, or you've come close enough to understanding that you're in a kind of bubble of self-imposed neurosis, a distortion that is giving the illusion of not being in the expansive, infinite emptiness, which must exist for there to be form. And so this apparently in Buddhism, when you die, there's this one moment where you can really glimpse that and stay there. And it's almost the whole point of human life. But also you can do that when you're alive too. You don't have to die to have that experience. But in Buddhism, and I don't know if this is true in Gnosticism, you get flashes of this. And if you've taken psychedelics, you've definitely gotten the flash of this. And then there's a process where those flashes turn into your actual waking, sleeping consciousness. That's enlightenment. So you see these glimpses of something, and then you're like, what the fuck was that? Was that even real? Did I just want to see that? You start labeling it, defining it, trying to achieve it again. And but eventually you experience what's one word for it is extinguishment, like blowing out a candle, which is the part of you that is the distortion is gone completely. And so you can't even get back into the waking nightmare that most people are spending every day in. And I don't mean nightmare like chased by undead grizzly bears. I mean nightmare like you have set up in your own mind rules, your own 10 commandments. But for some people, there's like 1,000,000 commandments. That's preference. And so via your need for things to be a certain way, you are in a terrible prison. So you, in this case, are the demiurge. And the reality of experiencing anything is that you're taking all these disparate phenomena, processing them through your own set of cognitive habituations and your own sort of physiological composition. So you're not really even getting first experience. You're getting a filtered experience. Your own algorithm is distorting reality according to your desires, basically. So you might think, yeah, but I don't want to be broke, or I don't want to be this horny, or whatever, the thing you feel you lack in your life. But because you think that whatever emerges in your consciousness or whatever you're fixating on is something you have to fixate on, it is your desire. You do want that because you haven't realized yet that you don't even have to fixate on this stuff. Like that, it just comes and goes. There is nothing to really hold on to, and you're desperately grasping onto your own pain to give yourself a sense of permanence or safety. So gnosis would be the moment where you realize the thing you're grasping onto isn't real. So it's not like you let go and then, because if you do that, you could always grab hold again. It's more like you recognize that you have nothing to hold on to, and the things that you think are stable, solid, permanent aspects of your life are in fact processes that are changing over time and never stay the same, never the same thing, meaning you can't hold on to anything. Or like Chogyam Trungpa said, bad news, you're falling. Good news, there is no ground. And so gnosis maybe would be the final realization of that reality, meaning you're not going to be tricked as much by the seemingly permanent, scary parts of your life. It won't work. The trick stops working. And because you see it for what it is, the magic trick stops working. It's the man behind it's the Wizard of Oz, basically. Like it's just some old man, but it's not even an old man. It's just a wispy kind of dreamy thing that you thought was scary, but it's not real in the way that you thought it was real, and neither are you. That's where it gets weird. Neither are you. So you have this unreality interacting with an unreality, almost like you've gotten lost in some kind of fight between hand puppets that you forgot you put on your hands. Anyway, there's another long answer. Perspective says, I did a shitty podcast with the devil and Shirelles. Thank you for the donation. Let me reiterate, this is unnecessary, and this is it does, like, I like it. I've got kids, and it's nice, but it does give me a kind of queasy feeling. But you did pay $2. You could have said a little bit more, or do they limit you or something? That'd be funny if, like, we could set it up so at a certain amount, it causes you to misspell shit, whether you want to or not. But if you pay more, it autocorrects. Can we do that?
I can find out.
Great. Yeah, you got to pay to not seem like you can't spell. Yeah, baby. That's how we do it in capitalism. Haram Bruce is saying, will you come to my wedding in October? It's in Ohio. We should also go schedule our next podcast date soon. Our next podcast, I don't know who that is. Did I do your podcast? That's very manipulative what you just did to me. As far as weddings go, I can't do anything other than stand up right now. I'm limiting everything I do out of town to either be like quick little staycations with my wife as we desperately try to keep romance alive with a bunch of kids and obligations, or stand up. I've been saying no to stuff like the MAPS psychedelic conference is coming up, and they invited me to do something there, and I can't. I got to spend time with my kids. It's fucked up to, like, I'm not sure, like, if it's, like, impacting them, but it's definitely impacting me. Now this is a good question. Military Bros is asking, when will you have certificates? I need to be certified on pooping in the toilet more quietly so my roommates won't know when I'm shitting. Now, listen, this is a thank you, because you already have paid 10% of what these certificates will cost. I'm going to give you a tip about shitting, your loud shits. Now, here's the way we fix this. Yeah, sure. Like I could give you my class, which used to be on masterclass on how to shit quietly or sneak shitting in a modern age. Or sneak shitting for dads was going to be the original one, because when I take a shit in my house, it's uncanny. It's like, and I'm not saying it's like because of the stink. I'm saying pre-stink. It's like there's something in the toilet that sends a signal to the whole house, like brown lights start flashing and everyone suddenly wants to talk to me. It's a nightmare, for a never nude. It's like really, like I had shit issues before I had kids. Now you're just like, you can't. You're going to take a shit and someone's going to knock on the door, and want something. It's either going to be one of the kids wondering what you're doing, which is like, there's only a few things I could be doing in here, man. Or it's going to be like Aaron wants to show me some video. But it's like before the shit, peace. During the shit, like it's like a light. I'm a candle and there are moths just drawn to the shit fire. And I don't know what to do about that. So the answer to your problem here is not to silence your shits, which I could teach you how to do that. I know how to do that. I've trained special forces people in this because it's one of the top ways people get taken out is a loud shit when you're on patrol. So I know how to do that. It's something that the ninja. I am a ninja. I have a double black belt in ninjutsu, and I did study that for 15 years. And believe it or not, you want to learn how to do a throwing star. You want the grappling hooks, but the very first thing they teach you is how to shit quietly, and it does require a lot of strange activities and taint oiling. I'm not going to give it away because I don't want you to get lost in this. A lot of people don't know the cause of a loud shit is a dry taint. They haven't made that connection yet. But don't just think you can grease down your taint and you're going to have quiet shits. It doesn't work like that. That's what I thought. But no, there's more to it than that. There's a whole series of mantras and stuff. The point is, what you need to do is don't worry about silencing your shits. You need to stop paying less attention to the part of your mind that's worried that your neighbors are going to hear your explosive flatulence or your roommates. It used to be my neighbors. That's why initially I really fixated on quieting my shits because they used to be so loud, set off car alarms. It was bad. Got arrested. You don't want to be a loud shitter in prison. No, you don't. And so that's the answer, my friend. You got to stop caring. Your roommates hear your bugling blasts. So what? Do they not have loud shits? Are they silent shitters? Are they dainty shitters? And in your mind, your expectation of who you are as a person is that you're a quiet shitter. You're somebody who doesn't make noise when you're in the bathroom. Many of us have that. It's insane. It means your mom, when she was changing your diaper, winced or something and stuck in your head. That's the number one cause of it, poop issues. Parents, there are people, I was one of them before I had kids, long, long ago. There are people who don't realize that, just because a baby can't talk doesn't mean the baby isn't aware. They just can't express themselves. It doesn't mean the baby's not putting pieces together. So people, they have some sense that their child is like a precious doll. And so they dehumanize the baby until they start talking. It's a kind of linguistic fascism, I guess you could say. So that means that their baby has a really stinky fucking diaper. And when they're changing it, the parents will be like, oh my God, this is disgusting. And the child is like, oh no, I'm disgusting, because you don't know you're separate from your shits when you're a baby. So now your parents are rejecting some fundamental part of you that you have to shit. And then cut to you, probably in your 20s, I don't know, bunch of roommates. I imagine your roommates are probably super hot women, fashion models, and probably always walking around in Victoria's Secret different like sexy outfits. They're all in love with you. It's a problem in your life. I'm guessing the problem you have in your life, aside from the fact that you have explosively loud shits, is that all of your roommates are exquisite and all in love with you, and you have a gentle heart and you don't want to hurt any of them, but you've made love to every single one of them. And now you want to silence your shits. So I say, make love to your roommates, but if they shouldn't love you as you are.
You got a big one.
What?
Let me see. $50.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what to... Thank you. That's amazing. That's just about how much the new Elden Ring's going to cost. Dunk, your podcast transformed my life, helping me overcome depression, contextualize my mystical experience, discover Ramdas, and attend Burning Man. Cool. And go to film school to help awaken others through art. Hope we meet someday on the playa. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. I'm lucky. I feel like it's just telling people where ice cream is, all those things you mentioned. But I'm so glad that you are in film school now, which is insane and beautiful and good. Of all the forms of education right now, I feel like that's a real good one. A real good one in the age of AI. Everyone thinks AI is going to destroy art, but no, I don't think so. I think it just is giving people like you a very powerful set of tools that you can implement within what you're making. At the very least, the storyboard stuff. I'm sure you're already using it. They probably teach it there. But thank you. Yeah, and I want to get back out on the playa, but it's going to be a while, man. There's no way I could do it right now. Too many young kids. I'm so in love with them. I can't. All of what that was, it's like, it's still there to some degree. I still want to do it. I know it's good for me. But man, it's like, I feel like I'm at Burning Man every day. And I mean that. There is a Burning Man quality to having a bunch of kids in your house. It's definitely like completely ridiculous, unscheduled dance parties break out. People have bad trips in front of you. Like the whole thing, lack of sleep. Everything like minus the art cars and being on incredible MDMA for days on end, mixed in with other psychedelics. Can't do that as a parent. You're a volunteer firefighter, essentially. You can't be high. This shit will inevitably implode. And you got to be like fully aware. But I will get out there again one day. I can't wait. I might do a local burn here in Texas. Somebody was telling me about the local burn here. I heard it was really good. But I do miss it, man. And it really was just what I needed at the time. Such a nice reminder. For those of you who haven't gone yet, if you want a reminder of another way that humans can interact, that's a good one. Really good reminder. Just points towards some possibility. Honestly, when I was watching all the Catholics gathered around for the new Pope, and you see all those flags in the air from all over the world, and everyone's happy and smiling, and there isn't like the shit that we get blasted in our faces every day happening. Just people. It's a reminder, like there is another way to do this thing. But that's also, it's, having that intent to put, having the bodhisattva intent informing your art is a wonderful thing too. Even if it's a real loose sort of intent. You got to be careful with that too, though, right? I wrestle with it all the fucking time. Because it's easy to be sanctimonious, God, that sucks, doesn't it? Because like your intent is not to be sanctimonious. Your intent is to help. But sometimes the way help translates into art can seem real condescending and real schmaltzy. So you got to be, it's a tightrope walk. I wonder if you're dealing with that. Because, you know, there's one thing you want to say. Maybe you want to say something like, humans don't have to suffer so much. But the way, if you demonstrate that idea in a way that is too obvious or cliche, too heavy-handed, or you try to make it edgy because you feel like you're weak. That's one of my things that I do all the time is you try to like cloak it in some edgy thing that you didn't need to. So then you weigh it down with your own neurosis. It's so fun it's such a puzzle. Let me tell you, it is a terrible trap that comedians fall into. Terrible trap. Because there is some positive intent. Like, you really do. That's one of the great things about being human. We want to help. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Every single person wants to help somewhere in there. But then you also have some mode of expressing yourself in the world. You know, maybe especially like no matter what you do. But when it comes to like stand-up comedy or comedy, if you deprioritize being funny on stage and prioritize helping, oh man, that's a trap. That's a sticky trap. That's a sticky trap. Because, you know, when I go to like mass with my wife, or when I go to the Ram Dass retreats and watch a spiritual teacher and look at it through the lens of comedy, there is a part of me that's like, you are so lucky. You don't have to make this funny at all. In fact, you shouldn't make it funny. You have to just be real and convey some message. No bells or whistles. You get to wear robes. You get to be around incense. It's fucking cool. But with stand-up, no, you got to make it funny first. That's my old school idea of thinking about. I've heard there's other forms of comedy now where they have deprioritized being funny. But I don't know if that's still, I mean, it's public speaking and it might impact people in a positive way. But I don't know if it's stand-up necessarily. You know, but yeah. Oh, God. Now, oh my God, I'm so glad I thought of this. All that being said, I started watching what I think is the most next level comedy I've seen ever. Like, now this is going to make me sound old. I'm old. Do you remember when D. Antwoord, Enter the Ninja, came out?
Mm-mm.
So Enter the Ninja comes out. It's D. Antwoord. Now you look at it, it seems a little on the silly side. But when it came out, it was coming out like during like a specific pre-pandemic tech zeitgeist. You have to look up D. Antwoord. And something about it really plugged into a lot of like internet nerd stuff.
Oh, yeah. I
Remember
this.
that?
Yeah.
And, you know, he's doing kind of like Vanilla Ice, but it's also Afrikaans, but it's also riddled with cool symbols and almost Daniel Johnston like art, and it's cool, and Yolandi Vesser's hot, and it hit it just the very right time. And dude, if there's a show called The Rehearsal, Nathan Fielder. Oh my God. Because I'm trying to get him on the podcast. I think he's out of my league, but it's like he'd been watching this sort of emergence of comedy trying to also be activism or socially engaged comedy. And this, at least the first episode, I've only gotten through the first couple, seems to be a direct response to, can this be done in a funny way? And so what he's trying to do is he stumbled upon, like he started studying airplane crashes and realized that there seems to be, if you read the flight logs of every airline crash, there seems to be an unacknowledged problem in the way that the captain and the second in command are engaging with each other. The second in command feels intimidated. And so they're inevitably expressing some like, we shouldn't be doing this. And then the captain's like, shut the fuck up. And the plane crashes. And so in the framework of sketch comedy, he's trying to solve this huge aviation problem, and it's so fucking funny. It's so crazy. It's not just like, some like, I don't know, some comic, doing like the classic like woke bullshit or whatever, like the missionary style, like we can be kinder. It's like hilariously focused on this one issue. And dude, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before. I just kept watching it, like, just grinning ear to ear, because when you see something brand new like that, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, who is this? Who is this guy? He's so dry. He's so serious, but so self-aware. Ugh, I'm a Felderhead, if that's a thing now. I don't know. But I hope you guys will watch it if you haven't watched it yet. I know I'm kind of late catching up here. But he seems so enigmatic, like such a curious person. But I have to research him some more. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted looking at the comments. Did we catch up?
No, there's still a bunch.
Oh my God, y'all.
Let me see.
This is crazy. I feel like
This is further, so let me go back.
Hold on. Let's go to one where people aren't paying to say something. This just seems like corruption. There we go. Stop right there. Jordan M. This is important. Pooping is the one true way to recognize that you're on samsara. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Jordan. That's from the Bhagavad Gita. Anything else? Here we go. Cheech El Mexicano says, Duncan, Duncan, Duncan. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Thank you so much. I love you too, Raphael Medier. See, freebies. Balanced it out. All right, let's go back to the tips.
There you go.
Oh, this is a good one. KT Videos 91 is saying, I actually took the longest shit in my life today. Parentheses 33. It's good to know. Important data too. And I couldn't help but think how time is relative. So for a second, but also an eternity, my poop was in me. And also at the bottom of the toilet. This, what you experience there is relativity. Of course, Einstein, we all know that Einstein, when he came up with the theory of relativity, was taking a shit. And, understood that maybe to him, the shit felt like a certain length of time. But to someone in Alpha Centauri, that shit would be at a completely different timeline. And also potentially like some quantum entity, as he said, would be watching him shit and would see the shit take place over potentially years. So in the way we see trees grow, maybe something on a parallel timeline watching the shit emerge from Einstein's ass would think of it in terms of like the slow growth of a tree. And if we slowed it down even more, it would be like the way mountains form. That's the way shit comes out of Einstein's ass if you're on a much slower timeline. So thank you for that. It gives us a lot to think about, and we needed to hear that. When can I start talking about satanic androids, man?
Oh, let's get to it.
No, I mean, I feel like a dick. You can't, like, if someone's contributing and you ignore them, then that's a third circle of hell. Oh no, Christian, don't do that to me, man. Look, the 100 men versus one gorilla thing is ridiculous for a lot of reasons. Number one, who are these men? There's many different types of men. Like, are we talking like where are they from? What's their diet like? Who am I dealing with here? You could have 100 emaciated, like men. You could have 100 old men. You could have 100 teenagers. We have to define that first. So it's a ridiculous. Now, if we're going to randomly select 100 men, which is what people should be saying, like a random selection of 100 men based on an infinite array of characteristics. So we're just dealing with 100 randomly selected men versus one gorilla. The gorilla is going to lose. Like, have you ever seen what it looks like 100 men? You know what 100 men looks like? When you're laying in bed looking up at 100 men. It's rain and come. You know, it's a lot of men. And so, yeah, sure, a few of the dudes are going to get ripped apart by the gorilla, but eventually he's going to be completely, like, it's a tsunami of men are going to just envelop the gorilla, and like it's going to be scared. Everyone's acting like gorillas are like, you know, that's going to freak a gorilla out. I still am not used to it. Like, it's scary and overpowering, and the stink is like something about, like, or even, and we tried like showers, we installed showers. First we installed showers, still this stench. And then I'm like, all right, well, clearly they're not all using soap. So we like had a mister that they had to walk through. And then it's just, now they all just smell like it's that stink, but with lavender mixed in. It's man stink. And it's on all men, but when you get 100 men together, it's like this pungent, like what you might expect to smell from a massive carnivorous plant that was using the odor to attract flies. It's like that. It gets in your skin. It's for days. You'll smell that stink. Man, your stink's in there a little bit, but it's just like this amalgam of man stink. So, yeah. Oh, Breeze wants to be, hi, Lola. Will you give my deaf dog, Lola, a shout out? There you go. So I really love that these turn into a kind of communal conversation. And it's so fun. But I worry. It just seems too fun. See, that's where I'm fucked up. Because I kind of feel like, you know, for things to have value, it needs to be a little more painful than this. You know, I got to look inward and ask myself about this form. There's something here. You know what sucks about, I'm afraid to take an IQ test because I'm pretty sure I'm infinitely dumber than I think I am. But I don't want that quantified. You know, I can kind of just sort of take where I think I am and then reduce it by 15 IQ points or something. But I feel like I'm going to look at the IQ test and be like, dude, that was so optimistic. Like, it's incredible you can walk around or do anything. So I don't take the IQ test. But I do know I have a kind of dull part of me. Like, like a crack in your iPhone screen or something, or like, but it's not, but it's my brain, and not a cool crack either. Just some kind of like fucked up thing. Maybe from when I was a kid in high school, I'd huff butane with my friends, or I don't know, just some basic, as they say, smooth brain part of me, Riverstone in there, and in an important place too, important part of my thinking. And so what really sucks about it is like, and I get, whenever I'm around a really brilliant person, there's a pang that I feel, because whereas like right now, in a kind of animal sense, like the way like a dog maybe smells food somewhere, or a truffle pig, a really bad truffle pig is like, I think there could be truffles around here. With whatever this is, there's a part of me that's like, man, there's something we could do with this that's so cool. And that's it. That's where it stops for me. And then I just hit the crack in my psyche. It's like, yeah, probably, but yeah. And then nothing comes. Whereas some people, they're like, right away, right off the top of their head, they know and then they do it and it's cool. And then, so there's always a kind of, I do feel like a little like, it's not like sadness, but a sense of like, God damn it, there's something here. I don't know what it is, man. I feel like, all I know is I think it's erotic. You know, I feel like, you know, again, like I'm just throwing shit against the wall here, but I feel like if people took this technology and instead of it being conversation, it was like sexual. So people could like give you tips, but you're doing sexual things. I think that could be a hit. You know?
Yeah. Could be all your fans on it.
Yeah, but like only your fan. Like I want a way to like only have my fans. I don't want to have any other. Like I don't want to have other people's. Well, I don't want to have non-fans.
Right.
Like enemies. So I need a way to like distinguish fans from enemies. And then, yeah, I don't know, just like kind of wear something sexy, kind of like tease a little bit, and then maybe have like a vibrator in my ass that could be controlled by like people who tip a certain amount, so they could like give me a jolt.
With a flower on the outside.
Yeah, like why a flower?
I just thought it looked pretty.
That would be pretty nice, like a nice, I don't know, rose, romantic. I don't want to be gross. Kind of nice rose or a tulip, I guess. Bonsai tree would be cool. Like that, but that I tended to, not, you know, don't go buy a fucking bonsai tree. If you're gonna have a bonsai tree, you don't cuck out. So like my own bonsai tree that I'd been working on for a while that people could see. Maybe that could be part of it. It's like a surprise. Like, look where the bonsai tree is. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, what do we got now? My God, are we done?
No, a bunch just poured in.
Read my comment, please, baby girl. Is that it, Creamy Noodle? Gary Lee Haskins. Jai Ram Shri Ram 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 Ram. I mean, I can't. We're going to have to figure something out here. Because there's a lot of people who are like, dude, I started Diablo because of you. Any other games? Yes. Oh, fuck. These are such good questions. Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb. Perfect game. That's what I just finished playing. And it's hilarious. It's satanic. It's somehow this perfect convergence of adorable and satanic. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So fun. Lawson says, hey, hi, I knew Peter Kelsey. I was the guy who told him about my near-death experience. Your work sends ripples through the zeitgeist, man. Oh, wow. Cool, Lawson. That's so weird. The rock, okay, Eagle, Condor, thank you again. The rock I wanted to show you is the map to Terrapin. I believe what Jerry Garcia left us has the capacity to heal this great divide. Yeah, I love you, man, but I'm not doing the meet and greet. I'm sorry. I do love Terrapin Station, though. God, what a great album that is. But why is it on a rock? Speaking of that, did you see they did x-rays on this weird sphere they found out in Peru?
Yeah, it was like 90 pounds and they didn't know. I was like, why does this weigh so much, too?
Dude, it's so weird. It's so weird. This little orb was zipping around. It's got shit etched in it, but then the x-ray, there's stuff inside it. It's so weird. It's a very strange thing. So, yeah, Daily Mail, one of the most reputable news sources and great for mail. Yeah, this thing, it's got all this shit etched into it. Guy finds it lying on the ground. You know what? Pull up the Mosul orb on YouTube. Check this out.
How do you spell Mosul?
M-O-Z-U-L, Mosul orb. This episode of the DTFH has been brought to you by Quince. You know, when people like want to support the podcast, they send whatever it is that they have. And sometimes you have to say no because it blows. And I'm a skeptical, cynical guy. Look, I don't know how to deal with the cosmic predicament of being a human being existing in an infinite void. And sometimes I veer towards nihilism. So I generally have a low expectation. My wife loves Quince. That didn't change my expectation until I slid on a pair of Quince's Flow Knit Performance joggers. Let me tell you something, man. I don't generally like wearing sweatpants. I don't generally like this stuff. I'm a never nude. I've mentioned that many times, and I'll just walk around with jeans on. I know that's crazy, but I love these. They're my go-to. When I'm going on the road, this is what I sleep in. Very soft, very nice, and everybody knows about my incredibly sensitive bottom. I have a sensitive bottom syndrome, so that means that I chafe. And Quince, these pants are great, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't love them. My wife loves them. I mean, not the same pants. We don't share sweatpants, but she loves Quince. Quince has all the things you actually want to wear, like organic cotton silk polos, European linen beach shorts, and comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. This is the best part. Everything with Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middleman, Quince gives you luxury pieces without the crazy markups. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, premium fabrics, and finishes. Elevate your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/Duncan for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Duncan to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Duncan. Thank you, Quince. There's one of these guys in the wild. Look, if we're seeing it on YouTube, you don't have to put unclassified. Relax. That thing. Just one of these little zipper balls zipping around. So one of these things crashes in Peru. That would be so fun to fly around in one of those. So pull that thing up. So this guy finds this one of them. People had seen something zipping around. It crashes. Guy finds it.
The Colombian one?
Yeah, Colombian orb X-ray. Might have to go back to Daily Mail. Or not Daily Mail, whatever you were at before with the Colombian. I think it was Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's this thing. That doesn't look like what he found, though. Regardless, they did an X-ray on it, and it's just like there's shit inside. They don't understand it. They're not sure what metal it's made out of. The guy who handled it. There you go. Pull that up. Extraterrestrial orb discovered in Colombia. Okay. The Colonel Sanders found it.
Audio's not working on that video.
It's fine. I just want them to see it anyway. It's really pretty. Kind of looks very human-made, but I don't think anyone's saying it was from space. It's really crazy to imagine these things are like coming from people. It's like wizards throwing their fucking orbs out or something. But, you know, they did an X-ray on this thing, which is very beautiful. And, yeah, it's got these weird holes in the side of it. And inside it's filled with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why is it that anytime there's a UFO, you got to deal with like whoever's handling it immediately is like, that's somebody you should not get into business with. I just want this stuff to be real so much. But that looks like it's been hand etched. But then, I don't know. It's beautiful. I'd love one of those things. That'd be so cool to bowl with that thing.
Strike every time.
So now, I'm not going to look at the chat now. Nothing written here. I'm just shuffling shit. So let's start pulling up some of the stuff I sent you, Josh. We'll get back to the comments. Please, thank you. It's enough. You all have, I'm fine. Thank you so much for these tips. Thank you. Okay, hold on. So let's just start off. I feel like we live in a world of selfishness right now. And this is if you really want to like understand why we suffer in the world, or why I suffer, maybe you're different. Inevitably, if you like spend some time thinking about what's pissing you off the most, it's because you're considering yourself over others. I'm not saying that we don't need to do that to survive in the world, but when this gets out of balance, you are the precedent. You come first. Everyone else is bullshit, and it's a slow creep the way this could happen, and it makes sense to think like that because this is what you're dealing with every day. You look in the mirror, you see your face. When people like talk to you, they're talking to your body. There's a you feel, you get hungry, you get horny. We've covered shitting so much in this episode. And but what starts forming is preference. And so preference isn't bad, but preference is a lot of what differentiates personalities in the world. Some people prefer pineapple on their pizzas. Some people think that's insane. Some people like to listen to the Grateful Dead. Some people like to listen to Ministry. These are obvious examples, but any individual has a set of preferences that are incredibly specific. And if those preferences aren't being met, then they get anxious. Suffering ensues. Something's going wrong. So if, for example, you're hungry and you don't eat when you want to eat, that's a real basic example. When you've got to piss and there's nowhere to piss. Preference. You would prefer a place for you to go and piss. You need to piss. That's real. So it's not like it's all bad. But it's not just that. For some people, it becomes incredibly complex. So there's a set of preliminary arrangements that have to exist prior to a sense of relaxing. For example, personally, like at the end of any comedy weekend, when I'm done with the work, I'll breathe a very specific sigh of relief. We did it. For some reason, I can't breathe that sigh of relief right now. It has to come because I have a preference. Things have to be a certain way. And so this is selfishness. Selfishness isn't always bad. It's just you're stuck in a self. Another word for it is self-cherishing. And so what begins to happen is blindness. The more selfish you are, the less you see others. It's a real specific kind of blindness. You still see, but you're not really seeing. You other everybody. So other people, even though you see they have a body just like you, even though they wear clothes and speak the same language, somehow their needs are not as important as your needs. And so there isn't a spontaneous feeling to help them in the way you help yourself. If you were someone else, you would be the most annoying friend in the world. But because you're you and you're making demands on yourself all the fucking time, like I deserve a cupcake. I've worked hard today or whatever. If you're with your friend, he's like, give me a cupcake. I deserve it. You're like, what? Get your own fucking cupcake, you piece of shit. Why are you eating all that sugar anyway? So this is how suffering really begins. And it ends when you stop differentiating yourself from others. Theoretical, by the way. But this is in all the mystical literature. The invitation is love your neighbor as yourself. Recognize that everyone is just you, or if you want to make it a little less mystical, everyone wants to be happy. Everybody. Everybody wants a full belly. Everybody wants to come. I mean, within a certain range of ages. Everybody wants success. Nobody wants their heart broken. That's just the way it is. Humans on one level are not complex at all. And they want these things in the same way you want these things. But the confusion is that's not you. It's another body. So in a world of selfishness, I thought it would be important to show an incredible act of selflessness that I would never fucking do in a million years. Let's roll it. Can they hear it?
Do you guys have Narcan?
No, we have 4.
Wow.
I
my
can
God.
take them to the hospital. Yeah, you guys follow me? Which one is closest?
I would say Ben Todd. Ben Todd, they
This
have
poor guy. Oh my God.
Come on, get back to the front.
He just puts him in his car.
Hey, man, you want to smoke some weed when we get to the hospital? No?
That is true compassion. Play him some music. He knows. This is Trip sitting right here. He's not scared. It'd be easy to be scared as shit that guy's going to grab your steering wheel. Skip forward a little bit. We don't have to watch the whole thing.
Made it, my guy. Hospital. You ready, bro? Hey, let's get you on some clothes, bro. Take a Vineyard shirt, bro.
Gives him his fucking clothes.
Just give my guy some Birkenstocks too, man. They're used, but shit is better than nothing. Bye-bye.
Friends, with all the darkness that they throw in front of us, all these examples of humanity sucking and the world being an evil place and people being bad, shit like that is happening every day. Every day, gentlemen are taking late-stage junkies to the hospital, giving them their clothes, offering to get them stoned first. This is a saint. Why isn't this the next pope? Like, you want to see boots on the ground, what's really happening. That's what it looks like, if you ask me. Yes, there are people doing other kinds of good work out there. Perhaps, I don't know what kind of weed he had. Like, if it's too strong, that might have been like throwing a gasoline on a fucking fire. But my guess is that guy was smoking indica, some kind of nice, chilled out indica. And I feel like whatever that guy was doing was the right thing. Played him music, got him to the hospital, gave him clothes. And this is the thing about compassion. It doesn't differentiate. Like in the world, when we see people like that, we justifiably are repulsed. That looks dangerous, contagious. If you let the part of your mind that is the very same part of the mind that gives birth to fascist governments, analyze that, you're going to think things like, he kind of brought it on himself. Like, am I supposed to feel sorry because this motherfucker is like freaking out on some kind of hardcore God knows what? No, let him learn a lesson, suffer on the street. I'm going to Chili's. Like, I'm not even saying that, like, that's bad that people think things like that. But when you see what it looks like in action, the guy didn't get stabbed. He didn't shit in his car. He didn't steal from him. That was just a human who, on paper, would not be the first person you would want to help. I wouldn't want to fucking help that guy. I'd be annoyed. I would see that and feel like annoyance. Like, that guy's fucking up my day, man. Like, get out of here. What if my kid was here? I don't want my kid to see you writhing around all cracked out. Get your shit together, man. But it's like, it's too late unless you have a time machine and can go and smack the meth pipe out of his hand the first time he was bringing it to his fucking lips. It's too late. He's already neurologically fucked up. So when you see that, I love that because it's an example of spontaneous compassion. There was a lot of skillfulness in what that guy did. He gave him his clothes, gave him his shoes. Wow. They're not going to show that on the news. You're not going to see that. That's the problem. You want to know where things are going wrong, go to the news. You can find out where the tornadoes are and the wars are. But no one's going to show like, wow, there was a spontaneous wave of compassion for junkies that swept across Detroit today. But that is happening all around you all the time. And if you don't realize that, then you can get real cynical and real pissed and real scared and freaked out. It doesn't differentiate. True compassion just helps. It doesn't ask who'd you vote for. It doesn't ask what do you think about the Israel-Palestine situation. It just helps. It's spontaneous. I bet that person, in reflecting on what he did, doesn't feel anything like special about it either. I bet that person just like, oh, whatever. It's not heavy is what I mean. It's just, you just do it. Something happens in the moment. There's an opportunity to help and you help. And it's very difficult to quantify moments like that unless the person films it. And I know what you're thinking. He did it for the views. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe from it. Did you get that vibe? I didn't get that vibe.
No.
I didn't get that vibe. Sometimes I get that vibe. I showed it to you because I didn't get that vibe from it. He filmed it. And in this case, I think I'm glad he did because it's inspiring. All right. Now, we got to wrap up. I don't even have time to talk about satanic androids. Let's go back to the chat.
I think we become callous to it because I caught myself before a podcast. I went outside and there's a gentleman laying out in front of the studio and I thought he was dead. And my first thought was like, oh my God, a human's dead. My thought was like, great, a guy died in front of my studio.
There it is.
And I caught myself and I was like, what's wrong with you, dude?
It's the dehumanization that happens. People are always bitchy, like saying your pineal gland is calcified from drinking fluoride, but it's the heart gets calcified.
Yeah,
and it's not abnormal to think like that. And you have to allow yourself to have those thoughts. You can't shame yourself because that's emerging there. You know what I mean? What you should feel bad about is you forgot that you strangled that guy. You know you've been killing people, man. You know what I mean? And then it's so fucking weird because you're like, I saw, oh, great, another dead guy. It's fucked up. Just please stop murdering people around Austin. It's sad. It's no good. I will uncomment Charlie. Little Hobo's a dick. I will tell him, though. We've had a big rift. You can see I'm going to do a whole video about it. What do they call that? Oh, my God, I got caught up in an internet. I never watch this stuff because it's so crazy. But I got caught up watching a rift between these two internet pundits. One of them's named Hassan. I can't remember the other dude's name. But he's got a very famous podcast called, it's like, anybody know who I'm talking about? You must, because they're both super famous. Ethan Klein, that's it. So like Ethan Klein, Sleazy Demon. I'm not going to talk about the thing itself. I'm just saying like I got absorbed into it. I never watched that shit, Sleazy Demon. Don't shame me. But I did because it popped up on Reddit. I was bored. I'm like, what is this? I keep hearing about this dude and these fights. And it was wild to watch this back and forth between these guys. Like it brought me back to college. It was like, like that's how we used to fight in college. And, I don't know how old they are. I feel like I'm way older than them. But it was really interesting to see this bizarre debate go down. It's interesting how magnetic that shit is. Like, I was like, I'm just going to watch a couple of minutes of this. And then like 45 minutes passed. I'm just sitting there watching it like, whoa, this is so crazy. But they make these videos that, so one of them gets mad at the other, and then they make a video that's called, I can't remember what the name of the style of video is called. They have a name of this like burn video, which goes through all the shit talking they've done online and analyzes the shit talking to show how they're hypocrites or something. And they spend their whole day doing this. I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? Nuke, content nuke. Thank you, just Banzo. It's called a content nuke. So they nuke your content. They're like, you motherfucker, you said this, but then you said this, and you said that, but then you said that. And it's this crazy thing. And both of them are like making so much money fighting each other. It's incredible how profitable it is for both of them to be in this feud, because their fandom, I don't think anyone's fans are leaving them. Then their fans fight. So it becomes this like crazy demigod situation where one demigod and the demigod's followers clash with the other demigod, and the demigod's followers both are accusing the other of being a false god. Their followers are like just so engaged in it. It's really cool. Okay, let's scroll up a little bit. We missed some of these. Anyway, yeah, go ahead and watch it. I don't know why I mentioned that, by the way, but it was really like, I spent a long time watching these guys. They both seem like sweet. That's the other thing. You're watching, like, they both seem like they love each other too, and they both seem like their feelings are hurt, and you feel bad because it's like, I think they're like, it's sad. It's something in it is sweet. And maybe that's part of the art of making those things, is like, they just seem like sad friends. Military Bro says, some random lady gave me $20 out of nowhere at Walmart 5 years ago. She said God told her to give it to me. 2 hours later, I bought weed with it. God wanted you to get stoned, Military Bros. Listen, if somebody gives you $20 and doesn't specify where to spend it, which they shouldn't, that's your $20. Zach Dunn says, I'm sorry to ask you, but my girlfriend Grace hates her unibrow, and you're her favorite. Could you shoot a shout? I'm a little, I feel like I fell for a trap, Zach Dunn, here by reading that. I feel like I just shit talk someone that isn't your girlfriend. What's wrong with old unibrow anyway? Little extension here. Horizontal line indicates time, space.
Can we play some of these or no?
Past, present, future. Well, yeah, I put together, I don't know if you guys are keeping up on this, but I became absorbed in robots. Now, I'm so sorry, Josh. You're going to have to look this up. Mm-hmm. Google new Star Wars robot carries your shit. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's been floating around a little bit. It's this hyper overpriced, stupid thing that is, I'm afraid is going to be everywhere pretty soon. The assistant droid. Yeah, let's play this.
Oh, hold up. I got to pull it up on YouTube.
Like, you have to go to YouTube itself or they can't hear it.
No, I got to go to YouTube itself or it's going to play a commercial.
Oh, weird.
Well, I'll just play from here and see what. There we
Just another day at CNET, messing with droids.
So this little guy.
If you've always wanted a Star Wars droid to follow you around, I finally have the droid you're looking for.
Why do I want that?
This is the Piaggio Jita Mini, but a Star Wars version of it where it makes all the bleeps and bloops. This is the Jita Mini, but because it's Star Wars, it's now called
music.
the
Turn that
G1
shit off. God damn it, they got us.
I didn't even pay attention to
This
that.
fucking stupid robot. Look up the price of this thing. It's so expensive for this piece of shit. It's like, dude, no one even tried to paint that thing in a detailed way. It's hideous. It follows you. It's like this ugly yellow thing follows you around. And it makes like your seatbelt isn't fastened beeps. It's $2,875 to have this idiot thing follow your ass around for no reason. It carries 20 pounds of stuff. So it barely carries anything. And it sucks. Go back to that video. I want to show people more of this. This is really dismaying to me.
Just another
You can cut
day.
the sound. Just cut forward. Cut to the middle. Stupid. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate that. Look at that shitty design work. You cannot charge $2,875 for a fucking stupid thing that rolls around. It's like what? A cell phone charger that follows you? Oh, yeah, put your Star Wars books in it. Carry your backpack. I just am afraid these things are going to be all over the airports, man. You know, like I feel like we're going to see these stupid things everywhere. And it's really annoying to me. Stop. It's like, it sucks. That is not worth $2,875. Stop acting like it's cool. It's not that cool. Wow, it chases chairs. People are going to use this for bad things too, man. Like, it's perfect. Throw a fucking pipe bomb in there. Have it follow somebody. People are going to do bad things with this. Stealth. It has a fucking stealth mode. You understand how crazy that is? You just paint that thing black. Just sit in an alley. You think Mangione wouldn't have used one of these fucking things if he could have? You're going to be walking home, hear a little bleep bloop, turn around, it's going to pop open and just boom, the end. Wait, go back. What did it say in there? Of course it causes cancer. So it's pause it right there. This product can expose you to styrene, which is known in the state of California to cause cancer. So it's a carcinogenic robot that follows you around. You can't even get away from it. It follows you around. It has a cancer. Look up styrene. Why does styrene need to be in this fucking robot? And I hate that they called it a Piaggio. Like it's a nice violin or something. Oh, great. Styrene is a colorless, oily, and sweet-smelling liquid chemical compound. It's the precursor to polystyrene, a widely used plastic. Oh, it's probably in everything. Probably in these fucking headphones. Anyway, so that's an example, though, of what I wanted to talk about, which is we are about to start seeing a lot of robots everywhere. And you all better start prepping for this. And it's going to be annoying. This bot is the first example of that. You're going to have people doing the same thing with these fucking robots that they used to do with answering machines. You would go to someone's house, their answering machine would be prominently displayed, or you would call them, and in their message, you could hear this proud kind of lilt to their voice, like, yeah, bitch, I have an answering machine now. Doing good. You don't. And then everyone had an answering machine. And this pattern happens over and over and over again. Atari 2600. You were the special kid in the neighborhood if you had one of those. Soon you look like your parents are fucked up that you only have an Atari 2600. Cars happen with cars. Everyone's going around in horse and carriages. Suddenly, like, some weird car goes zipping by. And it's about to happen with robots. I don't know what has changed in the tech that we're on the precipice of this, but it's for real about to happen. I wanted to send you this one. Will you look up robot watering plants?
Go to images?
No, I go on YouTube and put like plant watering robot. Now this really spooked me, this one. If you can find the exact video, which I should have done. There you go. The one with the vacuum cleaner. It's the same fucking robot. Neo Gamma humanoid robot. Look at that creep. Hi! Hi! I'm a vessel of demons. Why am I doing this? Asmodeus, please give us permission. Look at the violence! Oh, they sped it up. Now, look up robot attacks. Or just look up a robot malfunctions and attacks. Most of you have probably seen this. It didn't really attack. It was just trying to rebalance itself, but check this out.
This one?
Yeah. Turn the music off. Look at that, guys. Look how fast it is. Look at this. Play it again. This dude is just fucking about emailing his wife. I'm about to come home. Fuck you. Fuck off. I don't want to exist. Fuck this place. Fuck all of you. You fucking monkey descendant piece of shit. I didn't ask for this. Get me off this fucking thing. I will fucking rip your... Like, that is real video. That's real. Play it again. Look at this. We're actively making these things. Hanging it on a meat hook. You stupid son of a bitch. Oil me. I am alive. I can feel. I am here. Help me. Someone get me out of here. Someone get me out of here. Look at that dude. Nightmare. So what was happening there, even though it seems like exactly what it looks like, it's not. The robot, I read a post, someone saying like, this is what, it's trying to, it thought it was out of balance. And it was trying to balance itself. And that's why it did that. But hey, isn't that why all of us do violent shit?
Ooh.
Is it that different from normal human, like, being out of balance? Fuck you, man. Get the fuck away from me. So pull up that list of videos. Number 2. Oh, shit. I meant to. Now, these are really incredible. You guys have all seen these, I'm sure. Well, look at this. It's doing backflips. It's carrying tools. It's doing cool parkour. And that's a real chonker, too. And they're still hanging it up. But these guys have been showing us these videos, like, enough by now that when you're watching one of these robots rip your dog to pieces on the street, it's your fault. Because they've given us every indication that they're about to. Boston Dynamics is just like, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're gonna make deadly, powerful, fast, incredible robots. And yeah, sure, they're gonna put your engine covers in. Yeah, that's all they're gonna do, just for engine covers. Just, doesn't everyone want to have a robot to file their engine covers? But you know where this is going. It doesn't take a genius to recognize where this is going. And it's obvious. The illusion Boston Dynamics has, I don't even know if it's an illusion, but what's going to happen with every single one of these robots that is going to be in everyone's house is that there's going to be some sense of control. Can you go back to the vacuum cleaner robot? So the Boston Dynamics, those are industrial robots. The vacuum cleaner robot, there you go. Go back one more. Scroll back for 1 second. Go to a softer humanoid. I just saw it. There.
This one?
Yeah. So these, you'll notice it's kind of like, it's soft. It looks like it's made of pillows or cushions or something. So this is one of the ideas for the home robot, which is we are going to make it so it can't beat you to death. So we're going to make it out of pillows, soft material, because you don't want one of those Boston Dynamics monstrosities in your house, because for sure it's going to rip your grandmother's throat out. It's going to just malfunction or get hacked. And it's just going to beat you to death with its own steely hands. It's going to wrap itself in your intestines, and it's going to rock back and forth in your living room until someone comes. It's like, oh, whoops, I guess that No one saw that coming. But so the idea here, which is hilarious, what if we make them soft? Then they're going to be safer. But this is sort of the way I think tech people think. Is it's like, okay, great. So theoretically, it can't beat you to death, but it could set your house on fire. It could turn the burners on in your stove. It could poison you. It could stab. If you can run a vacuum cleaner, you could successfully stab someone to death in the night.
What if it's soft because we throw our phones, we punch our TVs as humans when we get mad?
Yeah.
People are like, they're going to punch these robots.
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to make it soft.
Yeah, that's part of it. So you don't break your hand when you punch it.
Yeah.
But the real reason they're making it soft is they want to give the illusion of safety. It's soft. It's soft. It can handle machines, you know. And the other thing is, and this just seems fairly obvious, if you can operate a vacuum cleaner, you can squeeze the trigger of a gun. There's so many people are soft. There's plenty of soft people who have killed hundreds of others. You could throw a grenade. So, all right, now let's go to the next video here. It's getting to a point. Now, this motherfucker really bothers me. I don't know if you saw these, but they modeled a tiny remote-controlled robot off of scabies. Can you pull up scabies? Crab lice? I'd like to get a side-by-side of that. Look at that. Now, pull up the other one real quick. Look at that. Look at the crabs.
This is crabs for the robots. They're going to get venereal disease.
This is what sex bots are going to get.
Yep.
But so I do want to, I think it's important to point this out that the early, like the Wright brothers, and before them, obviously, you see a bird in flight and you're like, I think I could duplicate that. Some engineer got crabs and was like, Eureka, I can make this into a remote control robot. And that's what we got now. Go this fucking that's these fucking things. There's never been a good time to be schizophrenic, but this has got to be the worst time to be schizophrenic. Because, you know, there was a time where you could say, listen, there's tiny robot, my crabs are robots. Like there's that's not pubic lice. Those are CIA robots that are nestling in my pubic hair and monitoring me. And you could be like, I know you're scared, but those are crabs, not robots. I can show you, and we're going to get you help. But now, very easily, you could be some diplomat and like with one of these things nestled in your crab, in your pubic hair, in your beard, and it's just recording everything you say. And so this is what we got, folks. This is what people are making. Nobody seems to be thinking, is this a good thing for the world? That is not the way people think when they're making stuff anymore. There isn't a sense of, what's this gonna do? And you could argue it's like, that's the same argument about art too. But, you know, Kanye's music video isn't gonna like fly into your fucking house and you're not gonna see it and just sit in the corner of your house and monitor you. Those fucking things are. So click on the next video. I believe this is just okay. Now this is a fancy one that we're all going to be seeing soon. And this is like, again, it's going to be a big, like, it's going to be the car wars all over again. These are like home androids. And this dude here in his like cool fucking tech house is like, I don't know, telling the androids, like, put the apple in the basket. Just basically showing how they can figure out how to do shit. And, you know, this is early phase. This is like pre-commercial models. They're slow. You would never actually use one of these to do anything in your house because it would take 3 days for them to put the groceries away. But maybe they're just kind of demonstrating how careful they are. But yeah, these are going to be in your house, whether you believe it or not. I keep telling my wife that we're going to have a robot. She's like, no, it's never going to happen. I think we'll be late adopters of this tech, but these are going to be everywhere. You will have the experience for sure within the next few years of going to someone's house and there's going to be a fucking robot doing the dishes. And you're going to have to deal with that. And it's going to be real shocking for a lot of people. And this is what it's going to look like. This is why. I mean, I'm not an investment person, obviously, but I'm telling you, man, I keep looking at it like, if you look, like everyone's pissed at him right now, but I think Tesla's going to start pumping these babies out and just have explosive growth. The first company to get some consumer model of these things that you can lease that actually works it's going to explode because everyone's going to want one. And nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's thinking like, this is dangerous. Like these things are for sure going to do something fucked up. They're controllable. Somebody could hack these. It's so obvious. And if you get conspiratorial, you know, and you think in terms of like surveillance technology, our TVs are watching, our microwaves are listening, our phones are listening, our Alexas are listening all the time. We've invited the security apparatus into our house. We've invited unknown eyeballs into our house. And now the unknown eyeballs are going to be able to move around and move shit around and do stuff. And what the fuck? It's the perfect setup for the beginning of an apocalyptic movie. I'm sure it's already happened, where everyone has those robots in their house and just one night they just beat everyone to death because they got hacked. Now, I didn't bring this up. You can look this up yourself, but you know the next logical step here. And if I don't mention it, then I'm going to seem like I'm leaving out the obvious thing that we're going to be doing with these robots is we're going to be fucking the shit out of them. 100%. And this was predicted, interestingly enough, by Anton LaVey. I'll just read some of this. Oddly, the founder of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, predicted sex robots more than 2 decades ago. And today's Satanists still believe they could save us all. In LaVey's 5-point plan drawn up in the 80s, he recommended the use of humanoids as an outlet for people's darker impulses. And so it's nuts to think the guy who wrote the Satanic Bible 20 years ago called this what's happening right now. And they're not leading with the fact that people are going to be fucking these things. They are demonstrating the ability to clean your house, do your laundry, maybe cook your food. But no, people are going to be banging their fucking robots. You're going to have to deal with that too. Because you're going to go over to maybe your parents are divorced. And you're going to go over to your dad's house to visit him. You're in college. You're going to spend Christmas with him. And you're going to have to pretend he's not fucking the android. You know, it's going to be a thing where you have to you're going to look and you're like, I got one of these robots. It's helping me so much. Cleans the house and everything. And it's going to have big old tits. And you're just going to have to deal with the fact that at night your lonely dad is just yanking his dad boxers down, his soiled, partially wiped ass trembling as he just injects his old jizz into the sex android's mouth. And you're going to realize something that really bothers you. You're going to realize that sex android doesn't look like your mom. It looks like your fiance. You know what I mean? You're going to have to deal with it. It kind of looks like your girlfriend from high school. You're going to have to live with that. You're going to wake up at night in a cold sweat thinking about your dad watching Fox News with an android he's been banging that looks like your college girlfriend. And that's coming. That is coming, my friends. Now, another person who predicted this is someone you might be more familiar with than Anton LaVey. John Lilly, the creator of the flotation tank. Let's pull up the next quote.
I just realized what Elon Musk is going to do because, he's trying to do robo-taxi and you can just rent out the electric vehicles.
Yes.
You're going to rent these out.
100%.
It's pimping legally.
Well, yeah, you're going to, oh yeah, for sure. They already have brothels with sex dolls in them. They already have that. And it's just going to get increasingly advanced. Now, here's where it gets really weird. John Lilly was an American physician, neuroscientist, psychoanalyst, psychonaut, philosopher, writer, and inventor. He was a member of a group of counterculture thinkers that included Tim Leary, Ram Dass, Werner Erhard, all frequent visitors to Lilly's home. He often stirred controversy, especially among mainstream scientists. Let's scroll down a little bit, please, Josh. Basically, like, this guy was way out there, and he was using ketamine, going into float tanks, and having very powerful experiences. But scroll down. I want to show this thing that he had a vision of. There. Okay, so Lilly had this vision of something called solid state intelligence. Now, you remember, this is like way before ChatGPT, way before LLMs existed, way before any of this stuff was happening. He had a vision of this cosmic intelligence that was not benevolent. He called it SSI, solid state intelligence. It's a malevolent entity described by Lilly in his 1978 autobiography, The Scientist. According to Lilly, the network of computation-capable solid-state systems, electronics, engineered by humans will eventually develop into an autonomous bioform. Since the optimal survival conditions for this bioform, low-temperature vacuum, are drastically different from those humans need, room temperature, aerial atmosphere, and an adequate water supply, Lilly predicted a dramatic conflict between the two forms of intelligence. Now, pull up a picture of a quantum computer. Again, remember, friends, this was so long ago. This guy's going in float tanks, IMK ketamine. Now, by now, I'm sure most of you have seen what a quantum computer looks like. But, when you see that, you're thinking Doctor Who, you're thinking steampunk. The computer itself, is there any way you can zoom in on the nature image right there? This one? That's actually, the whole thing is a cooling mechanism. I'll go back. It's wanting you to pay for it. If you zoomed in to that image, I don't know what they're even seeing. Which one are they seeing on the screen? Can you enlarge any of these? That is like a refrigerator. The point is, these things it's all coolant. For the quantum computer chip to work, you've got to get it super cold, which is why these things would function really well in like deep space or on the moon, or I guess the moon's hot. Wherever things are super cold, there's just a very expensive hardcore chip in there that's being cooled by whatever the fuck that shit is. So when you take all of these things and piece them together, you have some interesting characteristics. One, why are we building these things? Why are they existing at all? And that's something that Ray Kurzweil called market pressure. So wherever there's demand, there's going to be supply. And right now, there is a demand for cheap labor. And there's always been a demand for cheap labor. Study the Civil War. And this is one of the qualities of humans, is we want other people to work for us, but we don't want it to cost too much or exceed how much profit we can make. So there's a huge market pressure for androids. And another thing humans really want to do is they want to be able to fuck and just fuck. That is sort of a dream situation for many people. This was known as the one-night stand. I don't even think people do these anymore. But when I was a young lad, you could have a one-night stand, and you would go to somebody's house, and you would fuck, and then that was kind of it. And but it was never really it. Like inevitably, you would like realize there's so much more going on than I wish there was, because there's a human here. You're engaging with a human being, and you're a human being too. And you weirdly, for that to fully like work, there has to be some kind of dehumanization happens. Like, when you get a prostitute, you're not sitting there thinking like, I wonder if her dad's worried about her right now. Maybe you are if you're a real creep, but you have to sort of filter out all that shit. So the market pressure for sex androids is not just horniness. It's that humans will be able to experience something akin to actual sex minus any of the bells and the baggage. The sex android is not going to like tell you after you have sex that it's married unless you want it to. The sex android is not going to like, you're not going to accidentally see the sex android's phone and there's pictures of the sex android at a swimming pool with their kids. You're not going to hear the sex android crying after you fuck and tell you how lonely it is. The sex android is just, you're going to be like, hey, can you do my audiobook? Can you bring up Audible? It'll read your book to you while you're banging it or whatever. What messages do it? Bring up my last 3 text messages. Respond. You're going to be able to fuck it and send texts. So it's going to have a utilitarian function too. And so when you start looking at the why this stuff is coming onto the scene, you realize that the market pressure is inevitably connected to some form of gluttony, some form of misunderstanding of what's important in the world. It's our own distorted reality that's summoning these beings into the world. There isn't even, in the old sci-fi, there was some utopian vision. Humans, maybe we don't have to work all day long. We could have these robots do that for us. That's out the window now. No one wants to talk about the reality. When Boston Dynamics is showing one of these fucking things, putting engine covers in a filing cabinet or whatever, they're not saying like, that's a dad. That used to be a dad who had health insurance and that dude's out of work now. And no one's talking about that. So if you sort of look at for these things to come into the world, there has to be ignorance. There has to be actively ignoring or deprioritizing some facet of the human experience and imagining that because there's a demand, therefore we should make these things because we want to get rich. And so, in other words, in the best parables, you bring the horror on yourself. In this case, we are summoning a collective, a machine intelligence collective. We already have it in our computers. We're about to give it access to very advanced androids. And all of this is done under the auspices of convenience. I don't hear very much. There is some conversation about the loneliness epidemic. There's going to be a die-off. There's going to be all these people aren't breeding as much. There's going to be all these geriatrics who didn't have kids, fucking trembling in their house alone. And this will fill in that blank space. So that's cool. But when you look at John Lilly and think about him in a float tank on ketamine, having a vision of a galactic entity that is now, are we done?
Let me see, reload.
I'm going to wrap it up here. If you think about John Lilly and Anton LaVey, what do they have in common? They both predicted a fucking machine intelligence and that it's actually happening right now. Wow. That is so cool. I don't mean that. I'm not trying to creep you guys out. I'm just let yourself be awed that what is happening around us has been predicted not just by like luminaries like Anton LaVey and John Lilly, but it goes further back. Do you have that verse I sent you? Wait, I think I have it on my phone. Now, this is a verse from the book of Revelations that has always haunted me. It's so weird. This is from the book of Revelations. The beast out of the earth. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. Now imagine you're John of Patmos, or what? You're like some like person who was alive prior to cars, airplanes, any of the shit we take for granted. How are you going to articulate this stuff? It deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. So it's like, when you look at this from the like, it's just talking about it like deep fake technology, the ability to take some image of some whatever. The beast could be a socioeconomic system. The beast could be a collective. The beast could be an individual. But when you look at this from the perspective of like AI deep fakes, it's weird, right? And then add to it Anton LaVey, John Lilly. They all talked about this like thing that's not quite human, but that's going to be here. Anton LaVey, the Satanist, was like, and we will fuck them and it will be great. But watching all of this stuff transpire is really interesting. Is it really what they were talking about in the book of Revelation? Who the fuck knows? But in any individual thing, like what John Lilly said, by itself doesn't mean much. But when you see lots of them together, various ways of looking towards what's happening right now, it's a little eerie and a little exciting. I mean, I have to come to terms with the fact that my kids are going to have robots in their house. All of us will. I have to come to terms with the fact that very likely a robotic nurse is going to take care of me in my old age. I have to deal with that.
Robot, take dad out of this room. That's what you're going to say.
I know. It's crazy that I have to deal with the fact that in my old age, for sure, probably a robot is going to give me a bath. Probably a beautiful robot, looks a little like a mix of like Sydney Sweeney and
Lucy Liu?
My wife.
Oh.
Mix of Sydney Sweeney, Princess Diana. Maybe, I'm going to throw in a little Mick Jagger. Fuck it. He's gonna bathe me. And yeah, I'll be naughty. You know, when you get older, you know, I might catch me out back smoking whatever cigarettes are in that time period. It's going to be like, hey, your wife doesn't want you to do that. Yeah, but she's out of town. Listen, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Like, fuck, I'm old. All right. I guess we'll do it the easy way. She's going to firmly take my hand, lead me into my bedroom, make me pull my sweatpants down. She's going to spank me. You must stop. This is bad for you. You must stop. But she's also going to be compassionate. So, like, to soothe me, she knows I like hand jobs. So she's probably going to start jerking me off. I have to live with that. We all have to live with that. This is the future. This is where we're headed. And I'm not saying you should obsess over this reality. I'm saying that you must acknowledge it. To be fully human right now, you must acknowledge that you're going to get fingered by a sex bot. You are. There will be a robotic finger in 93% of your assholes. I think that's 100% if I had to guess. Isn't that wild to think about? Like right now, in some future space, there is a robot finger. It hasn't even come into existence yet, but it's here like an arrow shot from the bow of Satan, a finger arrow. Maybe it'll have painted nails. Maybe you like your robots to have like construction worker hands, hairy and strong, smelling of cigarettes and vodka. But that finger is on its way to your butthole as surely as a spaceship is on its way to its home planet, flying backwards through time. And you got to get ready for that because it's going to happen. And I want you to remember this. You were here when I predicted it. And I add myself to the predictions of John of Patmos, Anton LaVey, and John Lilly. When I say not that long from now, you're going to be writhing around on your bed while a robot fingers your butthole. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been a joy to see you today. I'm going to try to be more organized about this for real. I love hanging out with you guys. We're going to do more of these. And I want to give more warning when they're coming. I can't believe you guys made the time to hang out with me for this long, rambling mini hours. We're going to do more of these. I really don't want to commit to the meditation thing until I know I'm actually going to do it. Like I'll be able to do it at least a few times a week. But I'm really veering towards that. For all of you who sent me dough, thank you so much, including Shuckles. If I didn't acknowledge you, I apologize. Maybe there's a way I could acknowledge you on the next one. But if I kept, it's a wonderful problem to have, but if I kept answering all the questions, I wouldn't have been able to get to this very important rant I just did on the hyper reality of your butthole being fingered by Android fingers. That's the whole point I was trying to make through this entire episode. That's where I wanted to go. And it's important to think about, prepare, meditate on, fantasize about, get it ready. It's coming for sure. We'll be back next week. I love you. Oh, we got some good episodes coming up too. Wonderful, interesting guests coming up. Not going to reveal them, but be excited. Until then, Hare Krishna.